anymore.
I think she hates me deep down. I know she wants to erase me. I'm in the magazines, on TV, no matter where you are, you might hear me. I'm in the magazines, on TV, no matter where you are, you might see me. Remember that one day, it will make me a better man. Well, Jamil, I don't want to leave this place. Sonny,
Ready.
Are you ready, Fonzie?
I'm ready. Take this screen off. Let's go. Let's go live. No time to lose today.
No time to lose today, guys. Welcome to Wednesday.
What is up?
Happy mid of the week, hump day, however you want to call it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It gets easier from here, man. It gets easier from here.
It is easy every day when you do what
baby.
you love, guys.
That's right. And today we have the guy that really does what he loves, and he does it really, really well. And we can't wait to bring it to you guys. Tony, what's up? If you
What's
are
up,
live,
Tony?
comment #live. Thank you so much for tuning in. And wow, what a week. You know, Monday, Alex Sharfin. Today, this amazing guest, which is probably at that level or even higher. And oh man, can't wait.
He's royalty here
He's
in
royalty
Jacksonville.
here where we live.
Yes.
And can't wait to bring it to you. What's up, RJ?
Yeah, but we're tight on time.
Live.
We're tight on time today, so we got to get started.
We gotta get started. All right,
All right, let's
here we go.
do it.
Music. Bye-bye. See you later. All right. We got a couple new surprises here today. Let's see if we can pull it up.
Okay, so we added the new part of
Yeah, we are in the new part.
Cool.
Let's do it. All right.
Some pressure, guys.
All right, here we go.
We've got some.
Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
We spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit. And today, we are bringing them to you so you can take action immediately and start creating real content momentum.
If you'd like to learn more about how to turn your content into profit, go to contentisprofit.com. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, guys. And today, the massive benefits of your own publishing platform.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, man, I can't wait to dive in because, you know, we've been testing this for our own content, and this guy, he just takes it to a whole new level, and we're going to show you guys how. But before that, Fonzie, do we have a sponsor today?
Indeed, we do. Thank you for asking. And today's sponsor is your own, The Biz Bros, with content momentum, guys. Ching, ching, ching. There we go. And what is content momentum? You might be asking yourself, well, if you have a long form piece of content, just like this one that you're listening to or watching, we can turn it into value-packed, bite-sized assets just so you can turn it then into little minions and send to social media and get clients for yourself. So if you're interested, if you want content momentum, slide in the DMs, say at Biz Bros, and we will help you out.
That's right, guys. And before we get started, if you are listening, please do not forget to go ahead and smash that subscribe button so you know when those episodes are dropping on your phone. That's right. And don't forget to follow us on social media at BizBrosGo.
That is right. And if you find this episode impactful, don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review. Shout out to McCall Jones.
RJ, Tony,
yes.
man, thank you guys for tuning in live. Again, if you are live, comment #live and let us know any questions you might have. So today's guest is what today's culture will call an OG. Let's be real. He is the real deal, but more on that in just a second. We met today's guest while creating some content for one of our clients. Out of the 8 interviews we recorded that day, he was one of the best and more entertaining. You could tell he was not intimidated by the cameras. He was born for this.
That's right. So why is he an OG? You might be asking yourself, well, let me tell you, little grasshopper.
Mm-hmm.
The legend says that today's guest has made publishing a foundation of his business long before the Facebooks and YouTubes of the world. He knows that it takes to be consistent and to build a business around content. You could even say he believes that content is profit.
Today's guest is a U.S. Naval Academy graduate and retired Navy pilot. He was Best Buddies Champion of the Year in 2018. He's the host of Sold in San Agustin, Home and Garden Show, and the Commercial Real Estate Today podcast. Not only that, he recently bought a boat, which he's transforming into a broadcast, podcast, and video studio so he can do what he loves while living the boater's lifestyle. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. That sounds
Beautiful.
absolutely amazing. And maybe part of our plan was to get him here so then we can go on the boat.
That's right. Just
saying,
putting it out there.
But without further ado, please welcome impressive entrepreneur and Jacksonville's royalty, Mr. Wally Conway.
Hello, bros. Happy to be the a token old guy here with Luis and Luis. So I'm excited. This is great. I'm honored.
Hey, we're partying together, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Thank you for being here, Wally. We're so excited.
Dude, Wally, we connected recently through common friends, I guess, or like business partners. And, you know, there's some stuff that we might be working here and there in the backside. But I am so excited to bring you on because you are the guy when it comes to publishing. Once I started learning about you, I'm like, wow, this literally OG on publishing, on TV shows, and using the platform to, you know, build relationships, amazing people, amazing friends, amazing connections, and ultimately, you know, provide so much value with the business that you do. So, Wally, tell us a little bit on, you know, that story and how everything got started for you.
Well, what made it fun for me is at its core, I'm not really a broadcast guy. I'm a business owner and entrepreneur who, when I first started Home Pro Inspections back in 1994, it seemed like every media salesperson on the planet was banging on my door, explaining to me if I'm not in their print piece, or I'm not in their radio ad, or I'm not buying whatever they're selling, I'll be invisible and out of business in a long weekend. And that was worrisome to me. And somebody whispered in my ear one time and explained the simple fact of media to me, and that is this. I want you to imagine in your mind the largest media company in the country. Let's just pick on News Corp. If you went in the front door of News Corp, you have a choice to turn right or turn left. If you turn right, you go to the ad department, and the person in that department, their job is to sell you as much as they can of whatever they got. It could be space, it could be time, whatever it is, they got to sell it to you. And when they're done selling all they've got, they can go home. If you took a left, those are the people who produce content. Those are the writers and the producers and the talking heads. Those people are starving for something to write, something to say, something to print, something to produce. I learned early on that the value to me, the business owner, was to be content, not advertising. I also learned early on, advertising is expensive. And you're going to love this, fellas. Content is profit.
Let's go.
That's right.
I have been on radio, television, home and garden television, print, all over the place, and paid to do so in some cases, where a competitor of mine was buying ad space in that same media. So the mindset shift is to say, what you've got as a business owner, what you've got in your particular mission has value. People want to hear it, and they would rather hear you from the content section of the media than hear you in the ad space during the break.
I love it. Just for some context here, like, Wally, how long have you been doing this?
So we started the first business in 1994, the residential inspection company, Home Pro Inspections. I got two breaks almost simultaneously. I had a guy call me in 1999 who was invited to host a show on Home and Garden TV, actually to audition to be a host, for a show called House Detective. He said he wasn't interested, but he knew some people who might be. I was one of those people. So they flew us up to a studio outside of Washington, D.C. There was about a dozen home inspectors. It was a home inspection show, House Detective. About a dozen of us, and none of us got the job to host the show. Instead, they hired some handsome news-looking dude who thought that was handsome, thought he could talk a little bit, but they had a problem. He didn't know anything. So I got a call about a month after that from the producer, a wonderful lady named Angela. She still works at Scripps up there in Knoxville. And she said, hey, Wally, we're going to Miami. We're going to film 4 shows for House Detective down there. Can you help us find one house in Jacksonville? Because we'd like to stop there along the way. I said, sure, Angela, I'll find you 5 houses. She said, no. I said, find me one. I said, yes, ma'am, I'll find you 5. And she said, well, you're not understanding. I said, one. I said, Angela, you're not understanding, ma'am. I'll find you 5 houses. You pick the one you like, and then you can move on. Well, she flew in with a production team. I showed her the 5 houses. They canceled the Miami shoot. And we spent the next 4 years as a featured inspector on Home and Garden TV House Detective. So that was serendipitous.
Yes.
It's about, you get lucky when you say yes. You've heard me say that before, I know, but you've got to be open to opportunities and not understand where they're going when it relates to media. Mm-hmm. And you've also got to let media people know you're easy to work with, or you can take the easy route and produce all your own stuff.
Yes, I love it. First, I mean, there's so many points in that story, right?
There's an avalanche of golden boulders coming our way.
Yeah.
Like it's a little intense.
Yeah, and I love that saying. You get lucky when you say yes, when you put yourself in front of opportunities. But I think it's important here to make the remark that you over-deliver, right? They were, and you over-deliver voluntarily. They weren't asked. They were like, hey, you chose one house, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go the extra mile and show you 5, right? And even if that was not what they asked, but so often we, especially in business, I feel like most people want to get by doing the bare minimum, right? Like, okay, I'm just promised this one result. That's all I'm going to give them. Hey, how can we add value to it? And I feel like when it comes to content, it's the same, right? When we are sharing in the content, it's like, how can I add the most possible value in this single piece? Because then you're gonna be creating trust with all these people. And look at that, like it led to a 4-year partnership. That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I got to hang out for a few days, few hours, like on a boat in your element, for a little bit. And
I'm jealous.
Fonzie's here, like, oh man,
Hey, Fonzie, the truth of it is, I said to Luis, I got room for 2. You want to bring your bro? And he went, nah.
That's absolutely correct.
He brought the third bro, Pa bro.
Well, I was a +1 for Pablo, but in these like a few weeks that we've been able to get to know each other, something like remarkable I've been able to identify. You are very authentic every single time. The content I've seen, the interviews that I've seen in person, it's like the same person. And I'm like, were you always like that? Or was that something that came natural to you? Because we've been chatting a lot about that when we start producing content. We're like, that's very important, that we need to be that same person, even in front of the camera or behind the camera.
Well, for me, I believe, especially if you're a business owner or you're looking to establish a personal brand, it gets really simple if you just be who you are. Because if you are who you are, no one can be better at being you than you. And you don't have to turn it off and turn it on. We're not creating fiction. We're not actors. We're just people saying, this is who I am. This is who I live, how I live. This is what my business does. This is what I enjoy. And give people who are like-minded an opportunity to gravitate to you. If your media persona is different than your actual person, when you do meet that person or you're engaged in business with that person, it doesn't go well. So for me, a part of being constantly involved in media, whether it's podcast or radio or TV or print or whatever it is to generate and create business that will be enjoyable over the long term. And if your persona in the media doesn't match what it's like to be with you personally and professionally, there's rapid disappointment.
Yeah, well, that's incredible. And that relates a little bit to the last conversation we had in the podcast with Alex, right? Alex Charfen, that he was saying that he actually got to meet some of his heroes, right? He met Wayne Dyer, and he said it was amazing because the same Wayne Dyer that he heard in the audiobooks, it was the same exact person in real life. But then he said he actually met some other of his heroes, and he was a little disappointed because it was not what he consumed, that content, right? It's like, I guess he had an image of how they could be. And then when he met him in real life, I was like, wow, they're not like that. And he was a little disappointed. And I love that you bring personality into a point, because we were actually in Marley Jack's event talking about the publishing pyramid, right? And how can we be different? And one of the best ways to differentiate yourself is with your personality, because nobody can copy that, like you said, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to quote you right here. You said, no one can be better being you than you. So for a lot of people that are looking to differentiate themselves in the marketplace, right, against the competition, sometimes the product might not do that differentiation, but you will do it, and you can get an edge because you're going to relate in an original way to other people like your competitors can't. So I love it.
That's a fabulous point, because ultimately people do business with people they know, people they like, people they trust. And as you scale your business, that perpetuates itself down through your whole organization. So even when you get to a point where every single customer isn't doing business specifically with you, that personality, that branding, call it what you will, if it's authentic, it permeates your organization, it permeates your marketing, and it leads to much less disappointment all the way around, whether it's on the employee side or the customer side.
That's amazing. Hey, Wally, I'm curious, have you faced any like challenges, or has it been like there's a moment in life where you found yourself or like, man, like, should I continue to do this publishing game, being around content, being the creator? Have you faced a moment like that? And if you have, like, why, and then what happened?
Well, I think the opportunities to quit come up on a near daily basis. The HGTV run came to an end when the production company moved locations. And when they did that, they got rid of all of us who were on the East Coast, and we got replaced by a guy you may or may not know, a guy named Mike Holmes, has made millions upon millions on Homes on Homes and the various media empire things he built. When I see that his net worth is now 50 or 80 million dollars, I feel like he did that on my shoulders. And didn't drop any coin along the way.
Well, we know some people, you know, Wally, so just we'll talk up. No, I'm kidding.
No.
That's incredible. So like, what would be some advice to people that are starting, you know, they're either part of a business and they're looking at this opportunity to create their own, you know, I guess, persona, or expose their own persona on the content side of things, develop that attractive character, or they're starting their own business and this is like the only way that they have to get their message out on a consistent and frequent basis. What would be some piece of advice that you know, after all these years that you've been doing it, that they can take action today and you know, move that forward?
More than anything, it's start, and know that you'll start and not be great. And you'll be better day after day after day after day. People are constantly preparing to do something. You're far better off just doing it poorly and off you go. If they happen to hire the biz bros, a lot of people are going to see them early on. But if they're self-implementing, here's a secret. Nobody sees you anyway. So just do it and do it and do it. Do not be afraid to do it. So there's nothing better than just beginning. There's not a single thing that anyone ever started that they did well at. I have people tell me all the time, and I know it's intended as flattery, they say, you are just such a natural at this. I have been doing this multiple hours a day for 25 years.
Wow.
And I'll give you a little inside secret. When I first started broadcasting on WOKV, back in the cassette days, 20 years ago, every Saturday morning when I came in to do the show, the producer would give me the cassette from the week before. And I would listen to the previous week's show on the way home from the show I had just completed. And I did that until they stopped using cassettes, probably 6 years later. But most people they don't recognize the sound of their own voice. They're not comfortable with the sound of their own voice. And over time, if you listen to yourself, and the same applies to video, it's exactly the same thing. Over time, you'll learn to recognize what your inside voice is hearing, what you're hearing about your voice, and how it's actually projecting. And over time, subconsciously, you'll learn to project a voice that you're really pleased with on the inside and the outside, and that's the natural you.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. You know, we often refer to one of the benefits of publishing that we've experienced has been turning your thoughts into words. And I couldn't have explained it in any better way than you just did. It's amazing.
Well, you have a tremendous advantage. You can now translate it into Spanish also.
That too.
Yeah, we're coming
paid twice on that little gold nugget.
Yeah, that's a little advantage.
Yeah,
maybe I would think.
Well, you just said it reminded me too with the conversation we had with Josh and Eric from Podmax, because they were saying the same thing. They're like, guys, listen to your own content. Like
Yeah.
it helps you practice, see what you can be better at. And I put it into the soccer context, right? Because we grew up playing soccer. We wanted to be professional athletes. And it's the same thing, right? We would play a game and then reflect on the game. What did I do wrong? How can I make it better next time? And then we would go into the practice field and practice every single time. And then, boom, showtime. And you want to say something before? Because I have a question that I've been wanting to ask before we hop in the conversation.
Drop it.
Wally, I'm curious, because you have seen part of the evolution from the broadcasting, right, to now social media, that people having the power of creating their own content. Where do you think this is going, right? And what is going to be that role for businesses?
What's amazing right now, fellas, is how simple and inexpensive it is to become a content creator. I remember I'm 65 years old. When I was a young kid, there were only black and white TVs. There were only 3 channels, and it was huge, giant pieces of equipment to do things poorly. I do more on my phone now than existed in the entire media universe when I was born. Yeah. So it's gotten so inexpensive and so simple to do. And that's the reason you alluded to earlier. I've got a new boat I'm taking delivery on this weekend. And the name of the boat is Studio C, S-E-A.
Yes, love it. I can't wait. By the way, I hope there's an invitation coming our way to go see it.
You can count on it.
I got my bathing suit ready, Wally.
Yeah. All right, Wally. So we're gonna. By the way, I'm gonna just throw this out there live to the universe. We're gonna have a part 2 to dive deeper into these things. But maybe my favorite question, right? Like for you, that you have been doing it for quite some time, right? You've been improving every single day, and you continue to do it. How does it translate the publishing to results in your business, right? And then where would you be if you did not start publishing?
If we didn't start publishing, we would either not be in business or be significantly smaller than we presently are. But yes, we've created a media company. We're doing radio on multiple stations. We've got 13 different Facebook pages, and content is just everything. And the beauty of it now is it's so easy to repurpose content. So you could take a 30-minute blurb like we did today, slice it and dice it into 35 different pieces, distribute it across 6 or 8 or 10 channels. And those things are very simple. And if you say, I don't have the skill set, they're very inexpensive and affordable to have bright people do that for you. And here's another interesting thing. When you stop doing things entirely alone, you discover that there are actually people who can help you do things better, faster, and cheaper.
Wow.
Good lesson that we learned the hard way.
Yeah, for sure.
Should have called sooner.
Yeah, I wish we would have connected sooner, Wally, because we needed to hear that a long time ago. We were trying to do every single thing, and we often go back to we didn't enjoy the process of our first business, right? Creating stickers and t-shirts, how we were sweating in the garage here in Florida at 90 degrees with 90% humidity and an oven right next to us, like drying the shirts. I mean, you can even imagine.
Yeah.
And even that experience didn't teach us that there can be someone out there that can do it way better than us, right?
Well, I also think that I'll be specific to you and I. I believe that the collection of us, the Biz Bros and Home Pro and Monument, my collection of companies, I believe we'll do things together as 2021 comes along that will springboard both companies. And it's that classic thing that 1 + 1 is not 2. Things begin to grow exponentially when you play in teams, because you're always leveraging the strength of the other team member. And that's compensating for your own shortcomings, whether it's in time or economics or even talent. When you leverage the power of other people, it doesn't just fill the hole, it builds a mountain.
Well, that kind of reminds me, I forgot who said this. I heard it a few times, but it was someone that, I think it's a person that came up with the mastermind concept, right? Because he said 1 mind + 1 mind is not 2, right? Because what happens?
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
it creates a whole new mind of its own, right? And now you're putting it into the context of business, and I absolutely love it. Thank you.
Amazing. Wally, thank you so much. This has been a packed 25 minutes. We're gonna have to do part 2. I just want to throw rocks at the person that booked you for the next 30 minutes. Just saying, but we still love it. Thank you so much for coming onto the show. Give us like 2 minutes before you head out. And with that, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Content Profit Podcast. You can go ahead and follow us on social media at Biz Bros Co.
That's right. And if you find this episode impactful, which I am sure you did, because Wally is awesome.
Yeah.
Don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review. Thank you.
See ya. Yeah. There we go.
Great job, man.
Thank
That
you.
was so much fun.
By the
Wally.
way, you're still live on Facebook, so we're gonna have to do the tradition here real quick. Tony, by the way, I've listened to my episode Content Profit 10 times. Thank you so much.
you, Tony.
That was awesome episode with Tony Caggiano. All right, Wally, tradition. We're gonna take a quick selfie here.
Yeah, a screenshot.
AKA a screenshot of the show. So the count of 3, we're all gonna smile. 1, 2, 3. I say smile. I keep opening my mouth.
Awesome.
All right, Facebook. Thank you so much.
Bye,
We'll see you
Facebook.
on Friday.
Wally, that was